I'm going to talk about my third experience working at Caritas Soup Kitchen. I actually did it on Monday today instead of my typical scheduled Thursday because my friend Anna was sick. Um, so, what I have been feeling about doing the service is that lately, um, I've been feeling that I've been really needed at Caritas. Like my work is really being put to use because today they were pretty short staffed, and so when we arrived there, we were immediately put to work. We got in, we got our hairnets on, we got our aprons on, and right once we were there, we got to work. We started doing the dishes. They were being very resourceful by recycling everything, sorting everything out. But every single time I went out to go to get more trays to sort through the stuff and do the dishes, somebody would be like, "Oh, can you fill up my water? Oh, can you wipe down my table?" Something like that, because there was not very many volunteers. So what we were doing, like our time was put to use to the maximum. Like I was on my feet the entire time. I was not stopping the entire time. What I've learned about, you know, the refugee crisis while I'm here and the homeless crisis while I'm here is that these people don't have a permanent home. If they have a place to sleep, they're in by 8 and forced out by 6 a.m. by the nuns, forced out on the street, rain or shine. These people are outside. They don't have a place to go because of the stigma towards them. If they walk into a grocery store, people look at them horrifically. They just don't feel wanted anywhere because the at least the Vatican is providing them housing and food. Thank God for the Vatican because they're giving so much support to these poor people and the refugees. But they don't have a permanent home. So that's something that I've learned about the refugees while I'm here, and it makes me feel really sad about it. Especially because a lot of the people here that provide a stigma towards them are just so rich. Like the just juxtaposition between rich and poor here, it's just like it's awful because like these people they did not choose to be poor. They literally were born into it and they were forced out of an awful situation, despite it being a mental illness, and they are now just poor because they're unable of working or because they were born in a third world country and they had to be forced out so they don't die. So regardless, it makes me upset that the rich people are so mean to them when they could just be so much nicer because they're so rich. And it really makes me, like feel like I don't I bought a lot of nice clothes to Italy because I wanted to post on Instagram and let the whole world know that I'm here. Look at me. Look at my cute clothes. Look at my designer brands. Look at my designer belt. All this stuff. And I don't even want to wear it out anymore because I don't know. I don't want to rub it in these people's faces because it's not their fault that like they were born into this situation. They really are struggling to get a meal every day. The roof over their head while they're at Caritas, while they're eating their meal, they appreciate it so much. Today it was raining so hard, and it's been the most packed that I've ever seen at Caritas, and the least amount of workers there. So we were running around the entire time, um, and I don't know. I've been telling this story primarily to my parents because I've been pretty homesick lately, and so I've been FaceTiming my mom every single night because she's my best friend and just makes me feel better. And so that's another thing I'm happy about. I'm homesick, but these people, these refugees, they must be so homesick and they don't have an opportunity to FaceTime their mom every single night. But I've been FaceTiming my mom. I've been telling my parents everything about this. I've been sending them my video blogs. I've been sending them a lot of my papers and just filling them in. After all of my classes, I've just been typing up little essays, like especially with my professor Sean. I've been literally sending every single thing that he says to my mom, writing down everything because she would appreciate it so much. And I don't know. I've just discovered, I don't know, that it's just not their fault that they're poor. And about myself that I've discovered is that I really do enjoy giving back to these people because it makes me realize a lot, how privileged I am. And it makes me realize how comfortable I am in my little Bloomfield Hills bubble or East Lansing bubble. Um, I really now see that there is a lot of poverty in the world. You know, it's not just a few homeless people here and there like I see on the streets of East Lansing. I don't see any homeless people in Bloomfield Hills. And this is really my first time ever working firsthand with these people. And I don't know, it's really eye opening for me and kind of makes me want to take a step back and stop showing off what I've got because not everyone was born into privilege like I was. Um, they were born into a more unfortunate situation and they don't even have a permanent home or a roof over their head, and they're kicked out on the street at 6 a.m. and they're, I don't know, the refuge, like the poor people crisis here in Rome is just so, the government is just so stupid. It just makes me so mad. I literally, the fact that they just, this was the one place that they could come and they just cut it off because they're just so corrupt and selfish, and it just makes me very mad. But I'm really happy that I can do anything that I can to help these people out, even if it's filling up their water jug when I'm supposed to be cleaning the dishes because I'm supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be there, I'm supposed to be washing apples, I'm supposed to be doing all of this. But I'm really happy that I volunteered today because they really did need an extra helping hand, and luckily we didn't have a lot of class today, so I had a lot of nice nap beforehand, so I had a lot of energy to run around and help out all that I could. Caritas Soup Kitchen.